nap. And me waking up at 2 turned up to me waking up damn near right before 2:30. So excuse me, I just woke up 5 minutes ago. But I'm here. We are here. What's up, All Natural Skimit? Appreciate the super. We are here because of the intellectual dishonesty. Thank you for everybody who tagged me yesterday. I guess the amazing Lucas had his disagreement show, and he tagged me in Afro-Elite. But when everybody sent me the tag, the shit was like it was up for like maybe I saw it maybe 3 minutes of it before I saw it get taken down and put in the members only section. And I'd rather spend money on a new chew toy for Rocky, and Rocky don't even like chew toys, than become a member of his channel to watch it. So I said, all right, whatever. And so today yesterday there was another disagreement response, and I saw he had an 8-hour broadcast, and he reviewed the good brother Afro-Elite's video with more intellectual dishonesty. It seems like intellectual dishonesty is the theme for the year. You saw intellectual dishonesty with Anton Daniels and Corey Holcomb. Although I would say that Lucas is probably a little bit better at it. A lot of intellectual dishonesty. You saw it with Charlie Kirk. And you see that these people who are on either side of the fence, whether it be Republican or Democrat, are often intellectually dishonest. Why am I using the term intellectually dishonest? Because I don't want to call these people flat out liars. A lot of these people in these games, like how people who work on MSNBC and CNN, you don't necessarily get a reflection of their true values and their true talking points. But what you do get is a whole lot of rigmarole from their paymasters. And Lucas, I don't know the truth. I don't know who faced him, but he has the feel of somebody who is supported by one of the two parties, in this case, the Democrat Party. And in order for people to really be staunchly on either side of the fence, it requires either a level of stupidity, a high level of ignorance, and or a high level of dishonesty. And that's what we're going to get into today. I'm going to play a few clips from his 8-hour marathon yesterday where he's responding to the good brother Afro-Elite. And salute to Afro-Elite. I saw Afro-Elite was on earlier, and I was watching a little bit of it, and that's also why I moved my time back. I was like, I was going to go live 1 o'clock. I was like, no. I'm not going to go live while the good brother Afro-Elite is breaking it down. Let me push my start time back. So hopefully the good brother Afro-Elite I'm not sure if he's done or not. I didn't want to come on the same time he did, but I also got shit to do later on, so couldn't come on too much later. But we about to break all this stuff down right now. So what I need y'all to do is grab y'all popcorn, get ready. We will be back live in about 30 seconds. All right? Let's go. right. I told you I wouldn't be back long. I just had to run and get a book from my other library. I have one library in this room and another library in another room. Books all through the house. Books, books, books everywhere. Books here, books there, books everywhere. So I had to get one of my books for y'all to reference when we go through. So what we about to do is, I'm not about to go. Bro had a 8-hour crash out on Afro-Elite yesterday, and I don't have nearly the time to review it all. I only got a couple clips here and there I'm going to review, but it only took me a couple clicks because I didn't watch the whole video. I just kind of scanned the video, and it was so easy to point out the intellectual dishonesty. What intellectual dishonesty am I talking about? What I'm saying is this: when you take a snippet of what somebody says, and you attribute it and you combine it with something they didn't say, or you take a group and you take a general talking point and you ascribe it to a group, whether or not that group abides by that ideology or whatever you ascribed, that doesn't make any difference to you, because you, as the intellectually dishonest person, your whole point is to push an agenda, not honesty. And you're using your so-called intelligence, your so-called intellectual ability to push dishonesty. Like Anton Daniel said, well, all black people don't get along. Well, yeah, that's true, but it's intellectually dishonest because what you're doing, you're speaking from the point, from the giving the presumption that other people get along and we don't. That's very dishonest. No group gets along. We know, especially different, and the only way you can prove if we're the only ones that don't get along is if you can prove that black on black murder rates are somehow 3 or 4 times the murder rate of other groups and their murder rate within their own community. What you'll find is the quote unquote black on black crime rate is consistent with the white on white rate, is consistent with the Latino on Latino rate, is consistent with the Asian on Latino Asian. That's how a statement like we're all can't get along is dishonest, because you're not being honest about what's really going on. What Lucas does is he takes things and he takes a real thing and he makes it seem as if what he's arguing it against is that thing, hoping that people won't sit back and won't ask and parse and ask detailed questions. What you're going to find in some of these snippets is the reason why you're seeing a difference, and the reason why you're seeing different points of views on this stuff is because of the dishonesty. Just flat out people being dishonest. So what we gonna do is, let's break it down. All right. Let me go to some timestamps, because first off, what he was doing, and I'm glad Afro Elite called in, because Afro did a great job of calling him out with what he was saying and making him answer to some of his what he was doing. And now you see him doing a review of that. And now what you see is him going on this video. What Lucas does is he goes to Afro Elite's video and he tries to break it down. And that's cool. He tries to break it down, but when you lie to my face, I feel a certain way. I don't mind a disagreement, you know. I don't mind you see it this way, I see it that way. Such is life. But don't mischaracterize my what I'm saying. Don't mischaracterize what I'm saying and say it's that. Where's it at? Where's YouTube? Where's YouTube? Where's my YouTube? Here we go. Oh my goodness. So I fast forward here to the 44-minute mark. And it's a lot of bullshit going on before then, but like I said, I'm not about to break down an 8-hour long video. If you're gonna make an 8-hour long video and you want to sneak diss some stuff in there about me, you're probably gonna win. Cause I ain't about to watch all that shit.
And you want them to.
But the day before this, I was tagged, but since the video I was tagged in was taken down to the member section and I didn't get to fully go through it, I'm gonna go through the video you did the next day. I noticed you took it down. So hey, how mad can I get at somebody who's not willing to stand on what they say? So I'm taking the next video. I'm doing the next best thing. Since I can't get to what you did say, I'm gonna get to what you did say about this brother. But let's go.
Fail, and you know they're gonna fail, and you put them in a position to fail. You know what? How about you do it? You got it. You got it. No, you got it. And you know they don't got it. You know they don't got it. You know they about to embarrass the fuck out of themselves. No, you got it. No, I believe in you. Yeah. Go ahead and do it.
All of us here, we're black folk. We're black folk. We don't get to take our blackness off when we're around other Democrats.
I don't want to hear all this shit. I've been hearing all this stupid shit. Oh, well, yeah, I get it. We're all black folk. Yeah, I got you. But let's go on.
That's true. The point Afro's making, because Afro has this video with Kamala Harris. And remember, I replayed this video. I did this video too, Lucas. If you want to go through my archives, I used this video too to make a point. Because the reason why Afro's using this video is because in this video, you hear Kamala talking about her being culturally Indian. And this was a great video for Brother Afro to use because for intellectually honest people, this is what I'm going to lay down to those of you who really want to understand game, because I don't have an agenda on who you vote for. I don't give a damn who you vote for. You can vote for Kamala, Trump, or you can vote for John McCain dead ass. It don't make a difference to me. I just believe in presenting the information and you make an informed decision. Culture is trained in the home. Culture isn't phenotype. Culture isn't skin. It's very ignorant for you to conflate two different cultures based on skin type. That's racist, it's prejudice, and it's wrong. People deserve the respect of you being honest about their culture. Kamala Harris, yes, was born in Oakland as an anchor baby. She went partially to elementary school in Oakland, but she went to middle school and high school in Canada. Raised by an Indian mother with an absent Jamaican father. So culturally, she's Indian. And in this video that Afro-Elite is playing, she's going into the details of how Indian her culture is. Because she's not saying, I listened to Tupac in 1986. The cringeworthy stuff she said around us. Around us, you know, you had the Hillary with the hot sauce in the bag. You had Kamala Harris talking about making greens in the bathtub. Greens in the bathtub prove that she's not culturally us. And culture matters, Lucas, because the Indian culture, the Brahmin culture that she comes from, is very colorists. And they give out color-coded justice where she comes from. Similar to the color-coded justice she gave out here while the district attorney for the state of California, the attorney general, I should say, DA of Alameda County, attorney general of California. So I'm bringing out that is very intelligent on the brother Afro-Elite's part. And why is it intelligent? Because Kamala was running saying that I'm black. If you have policies for us, you don't need to relate to us on culture. You could just relate to us on policy. Black people are not stupid. We're not on a short bus. Well, some of these niggas are. But a good portion of us are not on the short bus, and it's very insulting when you go to culture when you're not part of the culture. Lady, just stick to policy. And that's what we was talking about. But let's go.
So all of this, she's Indian, she's Indian, she's Indian. So this is what I had to say about it. I said, they're trying to rebrand Kamala Harris by fabricating her black credentials to win over black voters. That's not going to work. We got the receipt. So I'm all this black.
This is stupid shit. You can't tell me this isn't COINTELPRO. Now, whether he knows he's being used as an agent of the government, I don't know.
Lucas said this is COINTELPRO. Lucas has a very surface level knowledge of COINTELPRO. Now, let me take back. He could have a deeper knowledge. I don't know. I can only go off what he's putting out. So I don't want to be disrespectful and say Lucas don't know nothing. He could know full well what COINTELPRO is. But he's not being honest about what COINTELPRO is. For those of you who want to know more about what COINTELPRO is, buy this book right here called The Burglary. You see, Lucas, this book is pretty worn. I've had this book for a long time. And in this book, The Burglary, it breaks down what COINTELPRO is. Because what happened was there were some people who broke into an FBI field office in the early 70s. And after they broke into the field office, they showed how the FBI used people to get Panthers killed, to get black people killed, to get white folks that was involved in Laurel Cane and Operation Chaos. A lot of that stuff was uncovered in this book right here. And you can get it. It's called The Burglary by Betty Metzger. The Burglary. I bought this book used from the last bookstore downtown LA. I bought this book used probably about 15 years ago for like $4. And this is how I found out about what COINTELPRO was. And in COINTELPRO, there was a diverse array of tactics used to undermine black progress. The one consistent pattern in how COINTELPRO was used was to get black people to go against our own self-interest. It was to get black people to distrust each other through underhand tactics, sending letters to the other side, making it seem as if they said something that they didn't say. Someone using, now, I'll tell you this, Lucas probably has his conspiracies conflated. Lucas, you probably mean this is Operation Mockingbird. If you're gonna, these weren't COINTELPRO tactics. These are Mockingbird tactics, if you're going to say that, because Mockingbird was when the government used people in the media to mock what the government wanted pushed. Had Lucas said, okay, because Afro-Elite isn't somebody that's out there. He ain't doing what William O'Neill did. And for those of you who want to know more about COINTELPRO, look up William O'Neill. And a lot of the snitching he was doing back to the government, that was COINTELPRO stuff. Mockingbird was a government inserting people in the media to mimic government talking points. I don't deduce in the way I think, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think the government is going to pay somebody to tell them not to vote either way, when voting is how America reassures itself that the local population is engaged in the fiat. That's why we vote every 2 years, because the government has to obsessively know what percentage of the population is involved in the drama. And they need you on one or two sides of that bird. So just based on what Afro-Elite is doing by reporting the news, it does not seem like Mockingbird activities to me. Him saying don't vote for Kamala nor vote for Trump, that doesn't sound like Mockingbird nor COINTELPRO to me. But to the novice who don't really know what COINTELPRO is, that can sound good. And that's, again, why I call Lucas intellectually dishonest. He's taking a buzzword that we've all heard and misapplying it in a way that can be dangerous because you're labeling somebody a government agent when you, sir, are acting like a government agent yourself. That's a problem.
But this is COINTELPRO. Ain't nobody give a fuck about Clinton being white. Didn't they say he was the first black president, quote unquote?
You saw what he just did? He just brought up a star argument. He said, didn't nobody care about Clinton being white? That's because everybody that ran before Clinton was white. That was the standard. It didn't change until the Obama run. Well, you had Shirley Chisholm and Dr. Jesse, Reverend Jesse Jackson that had run, but no serious non-white candidate had run. So, and that's number one. Number two, Bill Clinton wasn't going around saying that he was black. Bill Clinton was saying that he has policies that he wants to give black folks. Things like 3 strikes. And Bill Clinton came on the Arsenio Hall wearing sunglasses, which a lot of black people did not like. Now, there were some here's the thing. The kind of black people calling Bill Clinton black, the kind of black people that were impressed by him going on the Arsenio Hall show, playing the saxophone in sunglasses, were people like Lucas. The people who were trying to get you to vote Democrat. They were the ones that were impressed by Bill Clinton playing a saxophone. People who knew what time it is were not impressed. And they were asking the same of Bill Clinton as they were of Kamala. What are your policies, homie? So he's conflating a group that is much closer in alignment with his ideology and putting that over here on this side of the street. That's very intellectually dishonest, Fievel.
Ain't nobody give a fuck about Bush being white. Ain't nobody give a fuck about
And let me just go to another point. Yes, people did care about Clinton being white. And you know who cared about Clinton being white? Specifically, white Southerners. Was he white enough? And white folks and white liberals, because white liberals didn't trust white Southerners. So Bill Clinton coming from the South, for those of you who paid attention back in 92, I was only 11 years old, but I did pay close attention because I personally started paying close attention to elections when Dukakis ran against Bush in 88. Why? Because my mom always had me down at the city, at the meetings for the city council. My mom always had me down. My mom, whenever Maxine Waters would have a speech or a community gathering to where it was something that was political, my mom was always there for Maxine Waters when Maxine Waters was a local Congress for the state Senate. Before she went to federal Congress, she was in the state Senate. My mom was there, and Nate Holden was my city councilman. Lucas, who was your city councilman when you were 7? Do you remember? I remember mine. My city councilman when I was 7 years old, growing up in the Crenshaw district, was Nate Holden. Look it up. I know because my mom had me at those meetings instead of watching wrestling, okay? My mama had me at those meetings instead of Monday Night Football. You know how many Laker games I missed with Magic Johnson and Eldon Campbell, rest in peace, to be at a Nate Holden or Maxine Waters meeting? And this is right before Magic got AIDS, man. Man, I missed like a few games Magic's last couple years before he got AIDS. Because I had to be at the damn Nate Holden meeting with my mom because she didn't want me home by myself because my dad got on from work late those years. He didn't get off till 10 o'clock. So I had to go to them damn Maxine Waters meetings and Miss Magic Johnson at the Great Western Forum with Chick Hearn on the call. The eggs are getting cold, the butter's getting hard, and the jello's jiggling. Man, I take this personal. Because I was there. Like what does Fat Joe say? You weren't there. You weren't there. Well, I was there. And you can't lie to somebody like me, Lucas. You can't generalize somebody like me who's been elbows deep politically involved, involuntarily though, by the way. Because again, I wanted to see the Lakers. Can't play that game over here, brother.
Biden being white. There was more black.
They cared about Clinton being white. So that's the reason why, going back to policy, Clinton's Southern whiteness, he had to prove to the Dixiecrats that he was on his side. And Clinton had to prove to white liberals why he was on their side. So that's why Clinton backed three strikes. That's why he backed the 1996 Telecommunications Act, which we're going to do a 30-year anniversary deep dive on this channel in February. February 8th is the 30-year anniversary of the 1996 Telecommunications Act, and we're going to do a series on this channel on the harms that did. That we're going to do whatever we can do on YouTube, and then when I break the music and the movies down, we're going to do that on Patreon. All tiers of Patreon. When I get to that COINTELPRO, not COINTELPRO, when I get to the 96 Telecommunications Act, that series is going to be on all levels of Patreon. All right? Live Interview Lounge is going to get it live. Those on the non-live Interview Lounge, you'll get it as soon as we're done. The day after we're done doing the show live. But it'll all be on Patreon, those, because I'm going to play music on those, all right? But Clinton did a lot of things. 3 strikes, all-in laws. All of these were laws that Clinton created to give a dog whistle to Southern Dixiecrats and Northern liberals that although I played the saxophone on Arsenio Hall, I'm still with you. This is why we pay very close attention when somebody talks about being black. He said nobody cares that you're black. Lucas, if none of these people care that we are black, why did Joe Biden go on the Breakfast Club and say, if you didn't vote for me, you're not black? Why did Joe Biden have the need to say that in 2020 on the Breakfast Club? If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. If he weren't trying to appeal to color.
Black people that showed up for Biden than it was for Kamala Harris. Make that shit make any sense. Let me get this straight. Y'all niggas showed up in larger numbers for a white man than for a woman that is claiming that she's black but has Indian or whatever?
No. Nobody give a damn about Biden. We was talking the same stuff with Biden. As matter of fact, Biden got it worse because Biden was crime Bill Biden. The 93 crime bill Biden took a lot of heat. And no, we didn't vote for him. Most people who claim, quote unquote, FBA didn't vote for Biden. What are you talking about? You voted for Biden. Oh, let me take back. Lucas, I think in 2020, he was still a Republican. Am I wrong? I'm not sure because I wasn't really paying that close attention to Lucas, but I do remember he was very much so Republican at some point in his political journey. I've never been Republican. I was a registered Democrat up until 2004. I registered to vote in 2000. Well, in 99, my first national election was the Bush-Gore election. I voted for Gore. And I voted Democrat all the way down ballot. I was proud to vote for Maxine Waters because she was in my district. You know what I mean? I was proud to vote for Gray Davis. Gray Davis was before me. I voted for whoever ran against Schwarzenegger. I forgot who it was now. And then I realized in 2004, when the Democrats couldn't beat, when John Kerry couldn't beat Bush, I said the Democrats are punks. So I went to be an independent. So I've now been an independent for 22 years. I purposely re-registered independent after the 2004 election because I was completely embarrassed at the Democrats not being able to kick President Bush out of office. As inept as he was, I didn't want to be that associated with a party of losers. But I still voted for Obama 08 and 12, even though I was an independent. I still voted for Obama. But you see him trying to conflate being very intellectually dishonest. Again, if this was me on this channel 3 years ago when I was a little bit more unfiltered, I would have just said this nigga lying. And he probably is. But I'm going to keep it clean.
Make that make fucking sense. Biden didn't say shit about reparations. Nigga, he couldn't even spell it.
And that's why we weren't messing with Biden. But you're trying to make it seem as if we were.
But when she says it, I don't believe the bitch.
I don't like liars. And I don't like people that claim to be intelligent that don't dig into the nuance of a statement, into the nuance of an argument. Nuance means everything. Nuance means everything. And if you're not going to go into the nuance of what's being said, you either are unintelligent or you're ignorant. And you're willfully ignorant, I should say. Willfully ignorant. Because you're not going into, because what people say when people talk, if you want to understand somebody, you have to go into the reasoning, into the logic, into the layering as to why. The same way Lucas wants to respect, because he's going back and forth with Afro, talking about how he has Afro won't check his nuance. Well, you're not checking his nuance. So if you're not going to go into his nuance, why should he go into yours? You cannot claim intellectual superiority if you're not going into the nuance of what someone says. That's just well-documented, well-said ignorance, similar to Anton Daniels. Well-said ignorance. Now listen to this part.
Something that was worse than that. Bitch got fucking roaches on the fucking ceiling, but you still clapping cheeks. What are we talking about?
Trying so hard because they know her history is very anti-black. They know her history is very pro everybody else and anti-FBA specifically. Look at this, and I've shown this, and this went viral.
All right, let's see.
Okay. Now it's saying my browser lost.
Skip.
It's okay. It's okay. But it's all right.
I'm curious about her anti-black history. I'm unaware because everything I saw that these niggas was talking about. Oh, she put a nigga in prison for weed. That's not true. That's not what happened. That's not what happened. Oh, she was locking kids up for missing school or locking parents up. Yes, good. What the fuck are we talking about? That's called responsibility.
There we go. This is where he shows he's a Democratic puppet. First off, I think Lucas lives here in California. I'm not sure if he was in California back then, but I was. More dishonesty. Yes, she locked up black parents for not putting their kids into school, and she targeted black parents only to find out one of the parents that she targeted had a child that had that was ill a lot and sick a lot and had an excuse for not being at school. And she didn't target the white families. That's why he made the point about her anti-blackness. The way she adjudicated her power in Oakland was very harsh towards black people. And those of us who was here, see, I live in LA, but I got family in the Bay. I got family in Oakland. I got people in San Francisco. A lot of what I heard about her, see, Lucas, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. The internet got this thing to where news articles and stuff that was written in the 90s and the 2000s can get scrubbed away. So a lot of what she was doing in real time, you can no longer find. And they did that for fools like you who weren't paying attention the whole time. To those of us, me specifically, who've been paying attention the whole time, you've been understanding Kamala's anti-blackness for 15 years, for 10 years. I had people up in Oakland who were going to jail over simple possession, who were getting put up because of the injunction laws. The whole part about locking people up for weed possession, that was something that the national media ran with. The real problem was her locking people up, black people specifically, targeting black people for all-in injunction laws. And my cousin, who was up there in Oakland, got locked up in, who he could literally never be around his brother. One of my cousins, because when he was with his brother was was a known gang member. He was also a gang member. And out here in California during the 90s, we had something called injunction laws. And on them injunction laws, you could not be around other people within these gangs. You couldn't be around other people within these gangs, even if they were your brother. So if he was ever around his brother, he would run the risk of getting caught up in an all-in injunction law. All right? I'm going to show you something. This is a message. Let me see if I can. I'm going to show you this message of one of my homeboys. Hold on. He's not political. So let me cover his name up. Hold on. I'm about to show y'all a message. I pulled up a Facebook, because it's one of my homeboys who's a comedian. I pulled up an inbox, but he's not a political comic. Matter of fact, he likes to stay away from politics. So I'm going to crop his name out. I'm going to screenshot this. Y'all see? Look at here. I'm literally screenshotting. Y'all, his name is covered up. I'm screenshotting the same message that's on my computer. I'm just screenshotting it so y'all know I'm not BSing. This is a straight screenshot from Facebook Messenger. I just want to crop the homeboy's name out because he's fairly popular, but he's not a political comic. So I'm not going to put a non-political comic into this rigmarole. He's somebody that was done wrong by Kamala, and he's since moved on, and he doesn't want that part of his life out there. So I respect it. You dig? I respect it. Learn to respect the power of love. Y'all like my falsetto? I've learned to respect the power of love. See, those of us who are politically engaged and politically active, stayed consistently political active, don't have to go back to the archives. We just can talk to people that we know. This is one of my homeboys. Maybe Lucas might, if he did a video review on this, he'd be like, "Oh my goodness, that's just one of his friends. It's anecdotal." Well, look, I'm the kind of person that I don't take a black man saying I was harmed as an anecdotal evidence, as something to look past or something to look down upon. I love my people. And if my people say something was wrong, then God damn it, I'm going to follow up. Look at this. This is a message from July 23rd, 2024. I'm a personal product of Kamala Harris. She was the DA in San Francisco when I was deep in the streets. man, she used to do what's wrong. I was part of the city gang injunction. Did I not say it? This is a different story than my cousin. I was part of the city gang injunction that she was behind. I used to go to jail for something as simple as being in my mama's house with my blood brother. Yes, this was a major thing in the 90s and the 2000s. And if you know anybody, me personally, I'm a square. I'm not a criminal. I don't be on the streets. But I'm from South Central. That means I know people who do. Why did people have to go to jail? Why did she unequally enforce a lot of them gang injunction laws on us? Those of us on this that are on the in the grassroots, we saw stuff like that, man. You can't come in 2024, 2026, and just because what we saw in real time is no longer on the internet, say it didn't happen. That's what white supremacists do. Feeder Speaks, I appreciate the super chat. FBA Renaissance guy, everybody will know this, and I love it. Mucus is literally crashing out. That Tina before crash out when it comes after their loss. Appreciate the super chat, Feeder Speaks. Me all natural. Oh, I got that one. Thoughts of a Wildflower says, one of my favorite channels on YouTube, hands down. Keep doing the important work. I appreciate that. See, Lucas, when you're talking to a real one, brother, we don't have to rely on the San Francisco Chronicle, on the LA Times, to tell us who is who. All we got to do is call the people that were affected. You talk about ICE splitting up families. Kamala split up families over marginal BS. And those laws have since, California, if you want to say, oh, well, maybe the person shouldn't have gangbanged, maybe this, maybe that. Well, California even said those laws were too much, and they no longer use those laws. But Kamala Harris is one of the greatest at putting those style laws to action. And although I'm not street, although I'm not from the street, I got compassion for those who are. And like I said on this channel, oh my goodness, what about her being racist? Well, what about that time Kamala Harris took Nina Simone's category? Catalog, I said category. Do y'all know that Kamala Harris, while she was talking about I'm black, I'm black, I'm black, she used a technicality to take Nina Simone's catalog from her daughter? Do y'all know that? Do you know that? She was doing all kind of stuff that made black people not trust her. My skin is black. And I love some Nina Simone. My skin is black. Yeah. Her daughter did a simple violation that should have resulted in her catalog probably going under conservatorship for a couple of years until the money gets paid back. But no. She took everything from her daughter. Go and look this up. And I was actually at a Nina Simone show at the Hollywood Bowl a few years ago. This is Legacy singing Nina Simone. I love me some Nina Simone. I went to this show, and you see the date. You see the date, June 21st, July 24th, this 2021. This article was from June 20th, 2021. I had just read this before that show, realizing that they had taken all of her stuff and Kamala was the main one behind it, while turning her back on white people doing the same thing. This is what we notice, a trend. And let me tell you something else, Brother Lucas. I donated to Kamala Harris's campaign when she ran for state attorney general in 2008, 2009. She came down here to Club Element. If you from LA and you was a live nigga in the streets back then, you were at Club Ledoux, Club Element, in Hollywood. This is what Kamala Harris would do to get the live niggas who was out on the street having a good time. She went into our domain here in Hollywood, and this is how Kamala Harris campaigned. This is how she campaigned. It was this club right here in Hollywood, Las Palmas. This was a club back in the day called Element, and back here it was called Club Ledoux. This was one of the hottest clubs in LA in circa 2008. Kamala Harris did a fundraiser here, and what she did was she ran as a black woman. We didn't know anything about her Indian stuff, and at that time, I didn't know what she was doing in San Francisco. I only saw, and this is the reason why black people were having an issue with her running black, because those of us in California, like me, were around when she was fundraising in 2008, 2009 to make her run for state attorney general in 2011 or 10, whatever year that was. She was fundraising, and what she would do is she would come to the nightclubs that black people frequented and do fundraisers. And she got us millennials and Gen X, she got us to come out and support her because she ran, like, here's a black woman who's a district attorney up in San Francisco, and she is running for state attorney general. She's going to be somebody that got you guys' back. And she will come in and she will give her speeches and she will talk about being black and knowing our issues, knowing our problems. The school to prison pipeline. She addressed all that stuff in this meeting. And no, Lucas, it's not online. Because this is back in the days I was walking around town with a Sidekick 3. Y'all remember the Sidekick 2 and the Sidekick 3? This is back in the Sidekick 3 days for me. You dig? This is back in I had my Motorola Razor, or I think I had my BlackBerry replaced my Sidekick. Before I got my BlackBerry, I had a Motorola Razor and a Sidekick. That's what we was doing back in the day. You young niggas don't understand. So this was Sidekick 3 days. So there was no taking a picture and putting it online during this time. Instagram hadn't quite come out yet. I don't even think I had a Twitter yet, because I got my Twitter like in 2009. So this is right before Twitter, before Instagram, Sidekick 2, Sidekick 3, those days. So no, the video doesn't exist. But we were there. And we saw this woman run as a black. Only to get, and that's the only reason why I paid so much attention to her. Because she got my donation and my vote. Because of that, I was more ignorant at the time. I won't say ignorant. I was more blind, because I studied political science in college. At this time, I was so infatuated. We had just gotten Obama. Obama had just gotten elected during this time. So we was riding that Obama wave. So for those of us who were politically involved, Lucas, especially on the left side at that time, we knew who that snake was. And then we turned around and saw that snake operate when she finally got her position. And we were very disappointed. So people like me were here in California sending a whistle out to those who weren't in California. Hey, everybody, pay attention, pay attention. She will run black, but she will go against your black ass. Everything we saw her do here in this state was against us. Yes, we did that. Yes. That's what being nuanced is. And then you gonna say, well, what did that do? Oh my goodness. That brought in Trump. Good. Because I can't speak for all quote unquote people who identify as FBA, because there's over 40 million FBA. But I can speak for myself, and my philosophy was, if we're gonna be uncomfortable, let everybody be uncomfortable, not just black people. And that's why we ran so hard against Biden, against Hillary, and against Kamala. Because Niggas was tired of being the only ones uncomfortable. Everybody gets to live their beautiful daily daisy lives when a Democrat is in office, and those Democrats are on black people giving us hell. So the ideology wasn't Trump is going to give us anything. The ideology was the Republicans aren't going to give us reparations. The ideology was, well, shit, if we going to be the ones uncomfortable, let everybody be uncomfortable. And it's working. And that's why you mad, Lucas. You know the ideology is if everybody, Professor Black Truth said that, we're all going to be comfortable or we're going to be equally uncomfortable. Salute to Professor Black Truth. Yeah. And that's what you don't like, homeboy. Yeah. Not that niggas was going to get anything. We knew good and hell well we weren't going to get nothing. Only thing we getting is everybody having to take it. And obvious it's working because you are very uncomfortable, so it's working. Now let's go to this point right here. Let's go to this next intellectually dishonest point.
I not just say we've had a whole bunch of years of us being pussy? You can't find 5 FBAs that are willing to kill for reparations.
You see that? You see what he just did? Now that's COINTELPRO. That's Mockingbird. Now you say you can't find FBA that's willing to kill for reparations. Why do we have to bring up kill? Did the Japanese have to kill to get reparations? Do the Jews have to kill to get reparations? Do these people hopping off the board or hopping across the border and getting liquor stores on consignment, Section 3 benefits and government benefits, did they have to kill? This right here shows what he really thinks of us. Why would you even bring up killing? That's dangerous. That's a dog whistle. Nobody's saying anything about killing. The route to reparations is political. And that's why so many black people like CJEC, like CJEC, like Camila Moore in LA, like Brooke in New York. That's why so many people are involved politically. Because we're not here, no one has to die. And why would you suggest someone does die, Lucas? You sound like you on some Charlie Kirk shit, brother. But for the opposite team. You sound like a Democrat Charlie Kirk now. The man you hate. And those some dope shirts you got, by the way, about Charlie Kirk. Protect your neck. I like those shirts. I almost thought about ordering one. I would have ordered one, but I can't support somebody they're trying to play me for being stupid. You brought up killing? If you study COINTELPRO so well, why would you put that target? I would never put, just because we agree, just because you and I disagree politically, I wouldn't want to put nobody, I wouldn't want to bring up violence around your point of view. I'm not going to say you're not willing to kill for a Democrat to get into office. Why would I do that? Why would I put that kind of target on your back? We're talking politics. You're talking thugness. I don't like thugs. This is a political discussion. This isn't violence. Did y'all see that? Chat room, am I tripping? Let's play that again.
I not just say we've had a whole bunch of years of us being pussy? You can't find 5 FBAs that are willing to kill for reparations.
black people weren't necessarily willing to kill for civil rights. Black people defended ourselves from being killed. And you can find that in books like We Will Shoot Back. We most definitely defended ourselves from being killed. But this is a book about the armed resistance of the Mississippi Freedom Movement. And those black men and women got what they wanted without having to be willing to kill for it. Now, they were definitely willing to take up some guns to defend themselves from being killed, but that's much different than going out and assaulting our neighbor. And yes, even though whites and blacks are on the opposite side of the political fence often, they're still our neighbor because we are all part of this great nation known as the United States of America. So black people, even when you read the books on the armed resistance, and there's another one called That Nonviolent Stuff Will Kill You, look up that book too. They weren't going out killing nobody for civil rights. This man's trying to get somebody in trouble. Ooh, I just lost respect for you. I didn't even hear this part. I kind of came back before my timestamp. I didn't even hear this part the first time. Now this guy is getting dangerous. Suggesting that killing be put on the table. When we can show you political movements black people had in the past, political wins we got in the past. A. Philip Randolph integrated government jobs without killing. Do you know who A. Philip Randolph is, nigga? A. Philip Randolph got us back in government, but desegregated government jobs without killing. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Much less whatever liberation you want to achieve.
I mean that is true to the point right now. Yeah.
So
But my argument was that we've never fought for anything, and that's not true.
sir, who is we?
Because
I don't know what we is.
the black
Now he's playing stupid. He's questioning Lucas, saying we never fought anything. Now Lucas is saying, who is we? Who is we? You know exactly the we he's talking about, but you're being dishonest.
people that were slaves in this
Here's the
country.
thing. I think that's a problem. That's what pussy people do, right? That's honestly.
Now, pussy people go around saying that, why aren't you killing for what you want and you ain't gonna do nothing? That's why everyone said, if FBA gonna be uncomfortable, we all gonna be uncomfortable. Right. He's bringing up killing. And I'm going to tell you why he's bringing up killing. You know, that's because when Fiverr went west, you know, he had his little guns. So you got Fiverr goes west saying that we not killing. I don't know why this cat's bringing up guns. But since he's bringing up guns and killing, all right, let's go. This isn't Fiverr Goes West. This is politics, brother. This is not your hit movie.
That's what white supremacists do.
Stop.
You don't even know what I'm gonna say. The reason why I say that is because that's what
the pussy shit.
it is, right? You're not about to fight, but you want to get someone else to fight your fight. You didn't build anything, but you're gonna claim daddy's victory, right? You're gonna claim daddy's victory.
I'm not having nobody fight.
There we go. Right there. You said you didn't build anything. You're claiming what your ancestors built. Yes. Yes. That's why the quote unquote foundational Black American, whatever you want to call us, that's why we're speaking the way we're speaking, because we honor our ancestors. My great granddaddy created the automatic railroad crossing. I didn't build it, but my blood did. And I honor him because his patent was taken and he had to be a barber the rest of his life. And my great granddad had to watch immigrants come here to America and get free things that he never got, although he invented something that revolutionized the world. Yes, that's what you do. You claim your ancestors' creations. Yes, my ancestors created jazz, a music that America has been using to spread democracy and diplomacy around the world since we've created it. If you read Creation of the Media by Paul Starr, you see black folks' creations and our music being used as the what word am I looking for? As the propaganda, as the diplomatic force behind American domination. The diplomatic side of American domination is Black American music, which my family plays a major part in creating. That's Lucas. You may not understand this word, but it's called honor. It's called having honor. And yes, you're not going to you're not going to guilt me into honoring what ancestors I name created. My great great granduncle, Adelbert Roberts, who's from a completely different family tree than my great great grandfather who invented the railroad crossing, they both lived during the same time in America in the 1910s, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. They all lived during that same time. On the completely opposite side of that of my family tree, my great great granduncle was the first black person to run and win for Illinois State Senate in 1924. We're now at 102 years. It's crazy. My great granddad's invention got his patent got certified July 2025, and on a completely different side of my family tree, 1924, my great great granduncle got sworn in as the first black state senator in Illinois history. Completely different family lines, different bloodlines. So I have an honor to fight for that. His brother, Adelbert Roberts' his brother, Carl Glennis Roberts, was the mentor to Dr. Charles Drew, the person who created America's first blood transfusion. That's a very close connection. Although Charles Drew isn't my family had a strong impact on Charles Drew. And I'm looking for it right now. I can't find it. Damn it. Mother effer, you lucky I can't find it. You are lucky. I thought I had it up. I thought I had it up, but I don't. Damn it. Damn it. I can't find. I'm not gonna look for it. I'm not gonna look for it. I'm not gonna look for it. I'm mad because I thought I had it. I thought I had it right here. God damn. Whatever. I can't find it. I can't find it. Well, anyway, I've shown it on this show before. You guys are gonna take my word for it here. I've shown it on this show before. The fact that Charles Drew wrote my great granduncle's obituary. He was the person that wrote my great granduncle's obituary, and he talked about how. I'm only trying to pull this up because I want to show the interconnectedness of Black American. When he says that we didn't fight for nothing. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. He said we didn't build nothing. So I'm not supposed to honor my family history? This is my great granduncle. He died just a couple months before Charles Drew. Charles Drew died March 1950. And right before he died, he wrote an obituary to my great granduncle, Carl Glennis Roberts, who was the first Black person to head the state of Indiana Medical Board. This is what we built as Black people. This is what we built as Black people. And if you look at the second page, right here, this obituary was written by none other than Charles Drew, just a few months before he died. The person that created America's first blood transfusion was inspired by my great granduncle. So we'd be like, oh my goodness, you didn't build anything. I didn't build that, but I honor the legacy of my family that did. And I'm not going to let no square like you get me off that. Yeah, I'm going to honor my ancestors. Yep. Yep. Yes, sir. And if you ask me, it's dishonorable to not honor the people who built something for you. But this is a person that doesn't understand nuance. And this is what got people thinking that, okay, maybe he's not one of us. Maybe he's not from where we're from. Do you not honor your ancestors, sir? I do.
I'm talking to you.
Okay.
I do. You're right, Steel Wings. And they did it. My ancestors did it here in our homeland, not from somewhere else. And I continue to honor my ancestors with things like my Black American Music Family Tree Foundation, tracing the lineage of Black American music back to the 1600s. I don't get paid for this. I've been doing this shit for free for what, 4 years now? I've been doing it longer than that, but I created this tree now 4 years ago. And every day, I'm doing some more research, and I'm teaching on this very channel and on my social media channels about the history and greatness of the lineage of greatness. You like to talk about the lineage of evil? I like to do my deep research on the lineage of greatness. So it does matter when I see people coming from a foreign land that did not help, that did not go through. My great granddad that invented the automatic railroad crossing, his grandfather was a slave. His great grandfather was a slave. I do this shit to honor him. my goodness. Let me show y'all something. This here is me honoring my great granddad's invention. Here, right here, is the newspaper section. Special news, July 17, 1925. A patent has been granted to Alfred S. Hoggett of Benton Harbor, Michigan, for an automatic crossing guard. Mr. Hoggett is a resident of Hastings Avenue. The guard which has invented will automatically close as a train approaches and crossing an open path and closing after its pass. Mr. Hoggett has several ideas for invention. This is the first time, according to a statement made by him today, that he has ever carried one to completion. I'm not supposed to honor that? I'm not supposed to honor this? Saying we built? I'm not supposed to honor this? I got documentation, homeboy. I'd be real pussy, excuse me, ladies, for my French, but I'd be very soft and weak to not honor what my great great granddaddy did. And I was looking for another document that I have. I was looking for something else because I have a document that I can't find right here. Of his grandfather that was enslaved. I have documents on him too. Louis Hoggett and how he was enslaved. I got this. Lucas, your family didn't build this country? Okay. I honor my ancestors. This is one right here. Kendrick Johnson. Oh, my goodness. Who else gets to see the handwriting of their ancestors? This is one of my grandfathers 5 generations back. He was born enslaved in Kentucky, got free, moved to Milwaukee as a free man. He moved to Milwaukee in the 1840s, only for 1862. He went back down and joined the Civil War to fight for black freedom as a free man. He left Milwaukee, Wisconsin, fought for freedom, and in 1965 moved back to Milwaukee. 1966, he married a German woman who died in 1968, and her great grandson was this person that invented the automatic railroad crossing. I can go back 200 years before this. Are we not supposed to fight for that? And this is what Lucas don't get about the FBA fight. This is far bigger than Nino Brown. This is where it goes far deeper than Tariq Nasheed. No matter how you try to make it about Tariq Nasheed, no matter how personally you try to make this fight, this goes back to a family fight for those of us who are connected to our family roots. And this is why we don't appreciate the intellectual dishonesty. Now listen to this part.
Hey, then stop claiming. Stop claiming a fight that you were never a part of, though. You weren't out in the streets getting hosed.
And that's nothing. You weren't out on the streets getting hosed. Lucas, 99% of black people were not out on the streets in the 1960s getting hoes. My grandparents didn't get hoes on either side. The fact that you were black in America during the Jim Crow time and had to deal with it, whether you were fighting or not, means you're part of the story. The fact that you're black American now during Jim Crow 2.0. Lucas, what have you done during this Jim Crow 2.0? Personally, I know me. I was an IEP advocate. And if you don't know what that is, black Americans, if you listen to Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, and if you pay attention to the data, part of our menticide that's happening on our youth is our talented youth getting disposed upon and thrown away into what they call non-public schools, into what they call special education. And black children, specifically black boys, especially the ones who show high marks of intelligence, instead of that intelligence being met, they're getting thrown away in non-public schools, and they're getting thrown away to the system dealing with special education. I personally spent 15 years. I never lost a case. I went down to 333 Beaudry Avenue. That's where the Los Angeles Unified School District headquarters are. I've been down there dozens and dozens of times, and I've never not gotten the child what he needed through the IEP process. Rocky tired of hearing my voice. Rocky like, come on, Rocky. Look at Rocky. When Rocky ready to go, when Rocky's ready to go, look at him. Y'all see Rocky? He like, yeah, man, get me up out of here. I'm done. Rocky don't even bark. All Rocky do is just put his nose on the door like, all right, man, I'm ready to go. You ready to go, Rocky? You ready to go, Rocky? Let me let you out. That's all Rocky do. Go ahead, baby boy. Put your ass on. That's all Rocky do when I have a good dog. He don't do all that. He just stick his head on the door and be like, man, all that talking. Oh, you saw that just because you saw Rocky side-eyeing me? Yeah, that nigga act like he pay bills around here. This nigga like, man, fuck what you talking about. Let me go to the woman of the house. You dig? Rocky like, man, I'm going to the woman of the house. Nigga, you are too loud. I am tired of this. Hey, boxing game, and I think you might be right. The way he sounded, he's not sounding like us. He's not sounding like somebody that has a family honor to protect and preserve. Us, we got family we gotta honor. Damn, you trying to conflate us with a movement of other people. We got our own family we gotta honor. But listen to this part.
No one told you you couldn't sit down at the counter. So stop piggybacking. I notice a lot of FBA, they piggyback off of other black people's achievements.
I don't want to sit down at the counter with them.
That's great. But we got to stop piggybacking off of our ancestors' achievements. We got to start creating our own. Like the fact that we have to go back to the 60s to when niggas were real, that's a problem.
And yet, that thing is, that's not a problem. Because we don't have to go to the 60s. And the reason why you shouldn't have to go to the 60s, Lucas, is because we're still dealing with the problem. And you don't deal with the problem by saying go to vote. What are you doing? Like I said on the last show, Lucas, I'm looking here, he has 619,000 subscribers. I got 40. Tariq got like a 200, 300,000. Lucas has more subscribers than me, Tariq, Afro-Elite, and Black Alpha combined. That's just a fact. He got more subscribers than all of us combined. Great job. But what are you doing with it? outside of complaining about what other black people are doing with it. You're saying black people got to go back to the 60s. That means that includes you. The reason why I would never make that statement is because I don't have to go back to the 60s because I know my record at 333 Beaudry, the LA Unified, the home of the Los Angeles Unified School District, and I know how many kids I done got out of IEPs. I didn't have to go to the 60s. I can go back to 2016, 2022. So if you got to go back, that's on you, brother.
So what are you doing in the fight? Are you doing anything?
My doing is communication. Everyone has their job in the war. You have mofos on the
You hear
front
that weak
line.
ass shit? My job is communication. He sounds like a Southern Dixie Belle. Like he sounds like a white plantation owner woman. My job is communication. So you just went at Tariq. Tariq communicates. So why are you going at him? At least Tariq communicated and opened up a museum. I communicate, but I communicate and do real world things. Black boys, black children getting shuffled off into IEPs, getting shuffled off into special education is a problem. Why? Because it's scientifically proven that they know by the second grade whether or not a child is going to go to jail or live a life of freedom and what level of freedom he's going to live on the scale. They know that by the second grade. What happens in those first 8 years of a child's life is so important. So I have hundreds, maybe thousands of kids that I have major impact on here in Southern California, those first 8 to 10 years of their education. Because through addressing the issue of bad education at a young age and crime later on in life, I figure if I get to these children young and get to their parents young and change their education up in a particular way, that's going to alter the trajectory of their lives, which is going to lead to these children being more productive citizens that we all benefit from. As Black Americans, white Americans, immigrant Americans, whatever you are, everyone benefits when a child is taken out of an environment that's meant to cause mental harm on them and put into an environment that's more constructive and it's going to teach them to learn. That's a cop-out. And I'm not saying America don't need people to speak. But him saying communication, my question is, what are you doing with that communication? Because this communication sounds very Operation Mockingbird-ish. Since you want to bring up political terms. This sounds very Mockingbird-ish. Let's listen.
The fact that we have to go back to the 60s to when niggas were real, that's a problem.
You say you're not a real nigga.
So what are you
Which
doing
I agree
in the
with.
fight? Are you doing anything?
My doing is communication. Everyone has their job in the war. You have mofos on the front line. You have intel.
So you're talking.
So his thing is talking. But what are you talking about? Sound like you're talking about pushing the Democrat agenda, brother. Okay, your thing is communication. But what you communicating about, it ain't much constructive about that. I'm going to play this last point.
Can y'all tell me what that word is and what it fucking means, nigga? Can y'all tell me what that word is and what it means? Huh? Can y'all tell me what that word is and what it means? Maybe he's reading a different fucking article.
Saying what Kamala Harris has said about reparations for black people. Press support
So, nigga, you said it yourself.
for reparations for black people as her presidential campaign kicks off in earnest. So they're saying she has shown support for reparations, okay? She's shown support for it. All right, let's look at it. Let's find out
What else is there needed to look at?
Op, 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 op. He said, what else is there to look at? The nuance, fool! Yes, Kamala Harris said she's down, she supports reparations. Okay, what does that mean? There was no substance, no plan for her support. She had a plan for LGBTQ. She had a plan for trans. She had a plan for immigration. No plan for reparations. Black people have been getting duped by that the whole time. Yeah, black people, I got a plan. I show support. Yeah. Backed with nothing. Backed with nothing. You have to go into the details of somebody's support. And that's with anything. Kamala could have very much so well had a detailed plan, but you wouldn't know if you don't go into the details, which I did, and there wasn't no details. Op, 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 op. You're here to communicate. Your job is to communicate, but you're not communicating the finite details. And the reason why the details are important, op, is because of benign neglect. This is the benign neglect policy. Oh, shit. The anniversary was just 2 days ago. This is the benign neglect policy that was put on by the Nixon administration. And when you go, I think it's page 7 or 6. This is the reason why, for those of you out there, this is the reason why it's important that you go into details. See, Mr. Communication is saying, why? What do you need past the surface line? Let me tell you. On page 7 of Nixon's benign neglect policy towards Black America, a policy we've been living under since then, the time may have come when the issue of race could benefit from a period of benign neglect. This subject has been too much talked about. The forum has been too much taken over by hysterics, paranoids, and boodlers of all sides. We may need a period in which the Negro progress continues and racial rhetoric fades. The administration can help bring about this by paying close attention to such progress as we are doing, while seeking to avoid situations in which extremists of either race are given opportunities for martyrdom, heroics, histrionics, or whatever. Greater attention to Indians, Mexican Americans, and Puerto Ricans would be useful. A tendency to ignore provocations from groups as such as the Black Panthers might be useful also. And in this here is talking about why the policy for the party, for the politicians, is to basically have benign neglect on black people. This has been an official policy ever since. Say something to address black needs, but don't say anything that's going to address the solutions. Show solidarity, show that you understand, but promise nothing. Man, I'm trying to move this page. I wish I could scroll this page. I can't get. So you see that. Now let me go. This is another one I want to show. I'm trying to show y'all something else. Come on now. I'm looking for another article because there was that benign neglect during the 2016 election. Remember when they had that data leak and that hack back in 2016? And they show in that there was a leaked Democratic Party email that talked about offering no solutions, and it basically mimicked that policy. No, this isn't the article. Let me see here. Yeah, this isn't the article. But it was in the leaked emails, because this was for like 2016, so it's hard to find a lot of that old shit now. I mean, I can't find that article, but this is off the top of my head. But you can go to this article right here in The Guardian, and it'll probably give you some more, but I don't have time to go looking deeper for it. If you go to this article right here in The Guardian, it's talking about how to address black voters. Basically with acknowledgement, but no details. It's been a major part of the Democrat Party agenda to acknowledge black people and offer no details. They've been running this place since the 70s. So it's important that we look deeper into it. If anyone wants to call in, I gotta get out of here pretty soon. But I will take a couple I will take a couple calls. 323-705-5150. 323-705-5150, extension 800. I see some of y'all have been calling, but my phone line was not open. It's open now. But I'm not going to be on for long. So if y'all want to call in real quick. You dig? If anybody has any disagreements, any issues with what I said, call in 705-5150. Put up or shut up. You won't have to worry about comments being deleted by my mods if you call in. Steel Wings says, appreciate that, Steel Wings, for the super sticker. Much love for the super sticker, Steel Wings. Much love for the super sticker. But what we have here overall is intellectual dishonesty. This is intellectual dishonesty through and through and through. You're not being honest about the plight. You're not being honest about the fight. You're not being honest about what's going on. You're lying. You're lying. And you're using lies and half-truths to paint a whole picture. And I don't respect it. Yes, you tagged my name in the video and took it right. For those of you who came in later, I'm doing this because, yes, my name was tagged in the response video and my name kept coming up and I was talked about. But the video is now taken down and put on over on the members. So since my name was brought up again and again, and it was fair for Lucas to bring my name up, I brought his name up. But I wanted to point out the intellectual dishonesty that's going on here. And he's not being honest. Similar, he's using the Lucas is using the same methods Charlie Kirk used. Let's create a lie and tag this lie with a group of people and say this group of people believe in said lie to get her. He's when it came to what about gang violence, and that was the lie. He used the lie that black people had some eerily dysfunctional, out of nowhere, out of place gang issue, an issue that as if gang issues don't. They're not a problem. They're a problem in every community. They're a problem in the Jewish community. They're a problem in the Italian community. They're a problem in the Chinese, the Japanese, the white. Every community has gang issues. He tried to be very intellectually dishonest and make it a black issue. And gang violence ended up being Charlie Kirk's last words. Lucas is trying to make it seem as if we're not politically active. He's trying to make it seem as if we don't know, we don't care about what's going on politically, and we're inept and we're ignorant, and that's not true. That's matter of fact, it's anything further from the truth. We're actually going into the nuance. We're going into the details, and he's not trying to give credit for that. What's up, Dana? Hold on one second. I'm gonna accept this call, and I'm gonna get right back to you. Hold on, call. I'm gonna let the first person talk, then I'll get right to you. All right.
Yep.
What's up, Dana? What's on your mind?
Not much, not much. I don't like to really comment or give an opinion when I don't have context, so I don't get to listen to a video. But I was listening to somebody's podcast and they mentioned him. And so I was like, oh, let me go over and listen. And I just didn't like his tone when he said niggas. He was
Yeah.
like, well, niggas. And I didn't like his tone, and I didn't go back to listen to him. And I checked his numbers. He had probably about 400 something in the chat. And now you're exposing him, and I'm just like, that was a great not waste of my time to listen to somebody that's like halfway crazy, a Democratic shield, and thank you for that.
Right about that. He's not. He's what I saw. What he sounds like to me, like a political whore who's willing to take. Because he used to be Republican, now he sounds Democrat. He sounds to me just like a political whore that's willing to deceive people and be very deceptive for a few dollars, and I don't respect it.
I don't respect it either, but I also see a lot of people where they switch sides. So they get mad when they can't bolster their numbers, or they get us to switch sides, or we're not doing what they want. And then they build the platform on getting us, or they build the platform on just talking about us or not making us move in a certain direction. And then they bolster their numbers, they monetize it, and blah, 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 blah. There's so many of them out there that, it doesn't really make a difference. But I'm glad you exposed him. I won't be paying to become a member to listen to that video. But if Afro-Elite puts it on his channel, then I'll definitely listen to it, even if it's 8 hours. What I do for a living, I could listen to it.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Dana. Thanks for giving us a call.
No problem. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's going on? It's Spud calling from Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale. What's on your mind, brother?
I'm glad you're having this show today because you called it out, and that's the only argument that's against us on every platform, whether it's mainstream media, whether it's sports, whether it's entertainment, whether it's politics. Everyone, when they have an argument against black people interests, they're just going to have to be intellectually dishonest. And that's the only way they can say anything against what we're saying, because now what happened is we're at the point where all of the data is documented. Everything is documented. So whenever they say anything about going against reparations, there's studies out there that show what reparations should cost per black person. When they talk about immigration, there's plenty studies and reports, bipartisan reports done by our country that talks about how this harms black people and how it's wage suppression, no matter if it's at the top with the Chinese or the Indians, or whether it's at the bottom with the Mexicans or whatever other immigrant group.
Yep.
And it's all against us. And like you said, Anton Daniels, same thing, intellectually dishonest.
Yeah.
Stephen A., whenever he talks against black players and then he neglects to do the same when it's somebody else, being intellectually dishonest. So
Yep.
across the board, that's what it is. So I'm just glad you put a word on it. Now we can just use that word to attack them because that's what it is. And
Yeah,
I appreciate you doing.
We're gonna have to use that word and call it out, man. But they just give us a call. They just have to call. He's right. We're gonna. That's why I leave with this term. And make sure you use it. Just make sure you give credit to where you got it from. Intellectual dishonesty is what that is. They're using intellect to be dishonest about what it is. And remember this: a half truth is a whole lie. Let me say, I'm looking for this report right now. But a half truth is a whole lie. There's a report that I got, and I'm sure Dana has it too. When I was at Cal State Northridge for a reparations speech a couple years ago, my alma mater, Cal State Northridge, there was a report on the cost of being black in LA. And he's talking about what we went through in the past. In LA, between the LAPD, the housing market, the job market, they've been specifically terroristic towards black LA residents. And there's an official report that's out that I have the actual report that I cannot find right now. So since I cannot find it, I'm going to take this call and see if I can pull it up on the internet. What's up, caller? What's the name? Where you calling from? You there, caller?
Oh, how you doing, sir?
What's up, caller? What's that name? What's the name? Where you calling from?
My name is Gary, and I'm calling from Gary, Indiana.
Gary from Gary. Ha ha. What's on your mind, brother?
How you doing today, man? Yeah, funny thing about it is, I used to listen to this dude a while back, and what got me turned off to him was when you and Tariq was having one of those comedy shows. He basically stated how, I mean, he was going in on Tariq.
Oh, I missed this one. I said I missed this one. Go ahead.
I think you might have, because he was going in. This is what kind of turned me off to him. But he was going in on Tariq, and then he was like, "Yeah, he's having a big event down in this museum or whatever, and it's all comedians, and the comedians down there is trash, especially this one comedian named Dwan B."
Oh, he said that?
So, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Thank you.
And I don't think anybody else caught it, but yeah, that's what made me stop listening to him. And then the next time I caught him, he was doing the it was his last broadcast, because I haven't seen him in a while. But I was wondering, I'm like, I don't think that man knows that he basically said something about your stand-up.
He never saw my stand-up because I don't put it on tape.
Well, that's what the man said, and that's what made me stop watching.
I did not know that, man. Thank you for that. I appreciate that.
He was talking. He was talking kind of sideways, yeah.
Oh, then Lucas, then you a bitch.
Right.
Thank you for that, brother.
Straight up. Hey, glad to help.
Thank you.
Have a good night, man.
Oh, I didn't know he was talking about my stand-up. You can't say nothing about my stand-up unless you've been there. Why? Because I got a real life outside of stand-up, and I don't put my comedy on the internet because of shit that I say in my comedy. It probably could affect some of my business dealings that I have outside of comedy, and I make more money in business than I do in comedy. But if you're going to talk about my comedy, then, well, this takes on a whole new look, you musty rat-looking ferret motherfucker. I'm not about to take unfunny comment from a nigga that look like a hamster with 3 legs. Don't he look like a hamster with 3 legs? I'm not about to take that from this musty tether. Take your hat off so we can see your hairline, bitch. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, if you want to get ignorant, we can get ignorant. I did not know that. because I do remember him talking about the Hidden History comedy show, but personally I didn't click on. I do remember videos around talking about Tariq, but I didn't click on the video. I didn't click on the video because, you know what, it's a lot of people, like, that's the thing about it. Being next to Tariq when it comes to the comedy shows on the flyer with him, there's a lot of people that really cannot stand Tariq. So I catch a lot of strays just by people associating me with him. Because I ain't never been around somebody that's hated as much as Tariq Nasheed. I mean, boy, these niggas are really obsessively do not like this dude. And for whatever reasons that they have, they tend to want to go at people around Tariq. And I've been involved in catching a lot of those strays for a lot of years. You say he mentioned me by name? Oh, I did not know that. Ah. Oh yeah, gloves are off now. I didn't know that. See, the thing is, stupid people like going at the museum shows because stupid people don't go to museums. And that's always been a thing with me. Like, I've never understood, maybe because I am, even though I do cuss and talk a lot of shit, maybe because I am cultured. I spend a lot of time in museums. I go to the LA County Museum of Art on Fridays and Saturdays here in LA because they have jazz in the summertime every Friday, and all the way through October. In Latin jazz from Memorial Day to Labor Day, there's Latin jazz at the LA County Museum of Art. I go to the AAPI Museum out here in LA. They used to hold, before the pandemic, they had a once a month comedy show. Long before the Tariq Nasheed Hidden History Museum, the AAPI Museum here in LA also did a once a month comedy show that I would do like twice a year back in the day when I wanted to do comedy in front of non-black audiences to keep my chops sharp. I would do their museum. I'm at the Broad in downtown LA. The Broad is where I discovered what's his name? Corey Henry, the musician Corey Henry. It was Quincy Jones that did a night at the Broad. Let's see if I can find that. This is the Broad here in LA. This is what it was. I remember I went to this because I like Terrace Martin. And I went to the Broad to celebrate Terrace Martin, and this is where I discovered Corey Henry. Also Aaron Ray. I went to go see Aaron Ray just this past week at the Blue Note. Let me see here. And this was all from a museum event. So when I hear people talk bad about museum shows, I know that I'm dealing with a fucking idiot that's uncultured and don't know how museums work. Because museums work off having community events that keep the funding for said museums. And I was here at the Broad for this event. And because of the Broad, I was able to discover Aaron Ray, who I saw at the Blue Note the other night. Oh shit. Let me go. West Keon Herald. This is me. This is Wednesday at Blue Note. And this is the song he did with Terrace Martin. And this is Anicia Strings. Like no matter how hard I try, she can rap, play the bass, sing. Baby, it's me. And being the music historian and researcher that I am, I found these acts where? At museums. Right here, the Celebration of Soul with Quincy Jones at the Broad. So when I hear people say things like, oh, it's just an entertainment space, duh, stupid. That's how museums stay open. But you wouldn't know that if you look like a ferret. You wouldn't know that. If you spend 8 hours a day because you mad at something Afro-Elite said, you mad at something I said, and you spent 8 hours online, you wouldn't know that. How the hell do you spend 8 hours live streaming? What the fuck kind of life do you got? You musty. You gotta be a musty motherfucker to be sit down on the computer for 8 hours talking to people you don't know. Now he wants to go at Afro-Elite. And he wants to go at me. Don't he look like something you want to pick up and put into a maze and put a block of cheese on the opposite side of the maze and see him sniff through and find it? That's how this nigga look for things. He closes his eyes and sniff for it like a hamster. I'm not gonna do like Corey and Anton Daniels and get physical. Say I ain't with the physical nothing. But if you wanna go there, Saddam Hussein, because you don't look black, you look more Iraqi. So if you want to go there, Saddam Hussein, I'm your Huckleberry. If you want to go there. Osama bin Laden. How in the hell do you got 600 subscribers and you ain't started nothing? You got enough people for an organization to create all the solutions for what you think is needed. And this is what it comes down to. Because I'm not going to stay on Saddam Hussein for too long. I'm not going to stay on Osama bin Laden for too long. But Osama bin Laden, you have the power and you've obviously shown an ability to aggregate large numbers of people. And you're using it to push a party line? You haven't created nothing of substance in the real world? See, if you got an issue with Tariq and his museum, create your own. You can create a hamster and cheese wheel museum right away. We can know all about your family history. You can get a museum, get a history of the wheel, maybe get that Wonder Wheel from the toy that Richard Pryor was in, Miracle Wonder Wheel, and give us the history of the hamster wheel. And you can show us, FBA, how the engineering and how you went from the hamster wheel and the history of hamster wheels and the difference between a white mouse and a brown mouse and a ferret, because you a ferret. You can show the difference between your family, a mink, and all these little rodents that you kin to, and show how you evolved from rural rodent to scientific necessity of a hamster and a wheel. You got the following to do it. You can create a museum on how cosplaying niggas got into the Democrat Party and how people who look like they should own an Arco gas station use the word nigga and cosplay as a black American. Show us the history on that. Create a museum on that and put your museum against Tariq's museum and put it out there in the open marketplace of ideas. and allow the people to choose which one we're going to follow in the real world. Because as someone who uses speech too, I use rhetoric. We on the same team when it comes to using speech and rhetoric. We on the same team when it comes to that. But let's see if you can go further and take your rhetoric to the real world. The way I have with my Black American Music Family Tree Foundation, because it's not enough to complain about white supremacy. It's not enough to complain that white people take our history of our inventions, of our music, of our soul. It's not enough to complain about it. I'd feel like a bitch if I was complaining about white folks taking our music history, about Jamaicans trying to claim hip hop, about Fat Joe saying that hip hop was 50. I'd feel like a bitch if I was just sitting around complaining about it and not doing nothing about it. So you got to go beyond your speaking and create real world classes, real world things that go in to helping fix the problem that we see. Because talking about it is not enough. You do something about it. And I say that humbly. I ain't saying I created my foundation as some big dog. Man, I created this shit with money I didn't have. I did my research with money I didn't have. But it's important to not just sit around the internet all day for 8 hours and complain. I say this with respect. We need people. We need people that see the problem to be the solution for what we see. And if you're just going to sit around on the internet all day and blabble like a Southern belle, then you're part of the problem. You're part of the problem. This is the video if y'all thought I was lying. 8 hours and 2 minutes. Y'all thought I was lying? See, mind you, he did the video he did about me, he put back under the member section. That was the day before. I don't know how long that video was, but this video where he was talking about Afro-Elite, because Afro-Elite got in his ass, he tried to review Afro-Elite and failed. He did 8 hours of hissing. I'm sure he had all kind of Monterey Jack cheese and cheddar cheese and whatever else hamsters eat when he was done. Trying to play victim, like everyone's looking at him. No. You're lying. Thank y'all for calling me in, letting me know he said that, because I've seen him say a lot of stuff about Tariq. I just generally don't click on those videos because people are going to feel however they feel, and I'm okay with disagreeing. But I'm not okay with being called out by a ferret that's going to spend 8 hours a day on YouTube talking about a problem, and zero, when he's asked about said problem, 0 hours creating a solution for any of those problems. That right there, in my opinion, is hoe activity. And Lucas, you acting like a hoe. So I'm about to end today's broadcast. But before I end today's broadcast, we got to go out with a message. Don't be a hoe. Get your lighters out. Don't be a hoe. 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 What is a hoe in this situation? A hoe, and I'm not naming any names, a hoe is somebody that has all of the words for the problem. They got all the heat for those out there doing something to solve the problem. They glorified the people of 60 years ago solving the problem while providing opposition for those solving the problem in real life. A hoe is somebody that can analyze and diagnose a problem without creating a solution. Even if the solution is wrong, even if the solution falls short, at least you try. The man that tries is a man. The man that tries can stand on his 2 feet. The man that and the woman that tries can be proud, hold the chin up. The man that tries can let his nuts hang. Because although you fell short, you still moved forward from where we are right now because he tried. But if your level of trying is sitting on the internet doing an 8-hour broadcast because Afro-Elite made you look stupid, that's being a hoe. Not naming no names. Don't be a hoe. Don't be a hoe. Don't be a hoe. Don't be a hoe. This, my brother Lucas, is an altar call. We are having an altar call to the podium of realness. You can become real by flipping your complaints into actionable solutions. Using your following, that's twice as large as Tariq Nasheed's, to build your own museum since you have a complaint about his museum. Or you don't want to build a museum? Fine. What can you build that can bring awareness to your people? Because you obviously not a Black American. Open up something that's going to honor your hamster ancestors. Open up something that's going to honor your family that made it to the top. See, my family created and invented things that the world still owns and uses. Your family created a dope-ass cartoon. This cartoon was good to me when I was a kid. Fiverr Goes West. It gave me inspiration as a child. Fiverr went west. How a hamster can get to a whole nother part of the country with minimal help from human beings. I'm sure that is a story that you have family documented evidence and information on. Oh my goodness. Do something. Be the person that you complain about. Okay? Don't be a hoe. Don't be a hoe. Don't be a hoe. And thank me for preserving the memory of my great granddaddy that invented the automatic railroad crossing, and fighting to keep his honor alive, and fighting to keep telling that story so that young Black people out there who from the East Coast to the West Coast that don't understand the depth and gravity of Black inventive ability and Black ingenuity and intuitiveness, so that I can spread that story to the world so young Black children and Black adults can be inspired by the greatness of our genius. All right? unlike you, I'm not going to take this and put it in my members only section. This is going to stay up. I'm sure people are going to send you clips. But the years and the days of intellectual dishonesty are over. If you're going to come correct. Come in truth and honesty. Come with respect. And come as a human. Don't come as your cartoon doppelganger. All right? Thank y'all again for listening. Join the Patreon. We got the Music University going on and all that good stuff. And I want to say thank you to all that's listened. And expect honesty from these people. Don't let them get away with half-truths and bullshit, okay? Thank y'all again for listening. We out.